You're killing me, you're killing me. And he just like freaks out, and then just like really good syncopated riffs right after that. So I'm looking forward to what this band is doing, because they seem like a good, young, talented band with some great songwriting ideas. I'm just gonna come out and say this. For the emo kids out there, this is most likely gonna be your album of the year. I'm just saying it. Most likely your album of the year if you're one of those damn emo kids.
Why did people stop listening to Remo Drive? I don't want to speak for everyone, but the sole reason I stopped listening to them is because I'm not a fan of the music they make anymore. I feel both of their efforts since Greatest Hits have been of lower quality and carry less emotion and embody significantly less passion. I like their little sampler EP following Greatest Hits and their signing to Epitaph. I remember as soon as I heard Blue Ribbon, I was like, dude, yes, I can't wait for the next album. The song felt fresh and different, but it retained the fun, sporadic vibe that made people fall in love with them. But my hopes were dashed the moment I laid my ears on natural, everyday Degradation. I wasn't impressed by the singles, but at that point, the love I had for Remo Drive was so high, I gave it a chance. Many chances, actually. But it just wasn't clicking. I thought to myself, okay, maybe it was just an oopsie. It happens, you know? I was like, who knows what their next album could be like? And oh man, to put it lightly and respectfully as possible, it was even less enjoyable than their last. At this point, it just feels like their album titles are self-fulfilling prophecies, but please, I beg of you, do not tell them that. Even if they ask for your opinion, don't give it. It's a trap. This was my first real red flag with the band. Well, actually, it wasn't, but we'll get into that in a bit. After releasing their second album, Natural Everyday Degradation, Remo Drive posted on Twitter. They asked their followers/fans what they thought of the album, if it was good, if it slapped, you know, the usual band Twitter stuff. But to be completely honest, I don't think they wanted to hear answers other than exactly what they wanted to hear. It almost felt like they were ready and armed to defend their new piece of material. Because it's like, okay, if I make a post saying, hey, what did you guys think of my new video? And someone comments, bro, it was trash. I really miss your old stuff you used to make. I'm not gonna comment back and try to justify why it's good because I asked for people's opinions. I'm not gonna be like, bro, do you even know how much I'm evolving? Let's look at this little Twitter exchange between Remo Drive and this unsuspecting fan who gave their opinion after being asked for their opinion. So Remo Drive tweets out, does the new album slap? At Apple Lloyd replies, not really, the grunge and anger that made Greatest Hits is gone. You guys really sold out with this one. And to be fair, this could have been stated nicer, but that's beside the point. Remo Drive was the one who opened the door to responses and criticism in the first place. So what were they expecting? The way they responded felt so weird. It came across like they knew they had made something not as good and had to be ready to explain it and deflect all criticism. Repeating ourselves would be the real sellout. It's much easier to sell Greatest Hits Part 2 to a bunch of teenagers than to make something with some actual depth. We do what we want and aren't afraid of losing people who don't fuck with it. If you know anything about our band's history before Greatest Hits, the only constant is change. That's how we like it. If you don't like it, nobody is forcing you to listen. You like Greatest Hits? Pick up a guitar and make a better one. I find it strange to refer to your fan base as a bunch of teenagers while also acting like a teenager yourself. And to a degree, I know I'm reading too far into it, but from that tweet, it already felt like they were starting to disown Greatest Hits. Like, yeah, it's just a bunch of stupid music we made with no depth for the dumb teenagers that support our band. Their response came off as patronizing and condemning toward a fan who was just giving their opinion, an opinion that Remo Drive asked for.
If all you want to do is vent, get a diary.
I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, but at some point there was a shift. A shift in the vibe that Remo Drive gave off, the way they treated their fans, it all just started to feel different. Because at first, it felt like they really enjoyed interacting with fans. You could tell there was a genuine connection between them and their fans, like their fans saw a little bit of themselves in the members, almost like modern baseball. But now, it seems like interacting with fans is a chore for them. They're defensive, it's not fun anymore, and to be clear, dude, bands owe you nothing. Because I know a lot of people are probably thinking that right now, and it's true. But But the thing with Remo Drive is, it felt like they went from a band who was for the fans to a band that's like, yeah, we're just gonna do whatever the F we want and you better like it, or else you're not a true fan. And Remo Drive has every right to hold that opinion/stance, but fans also have the same right to be bummed out about it. During the release of Natural Everyday Degradation, Remo Drive's Twitter antics got so bad that people started making Reddit posts about it, saying that Erik really needs to tone it down and learn to take criticism, but I guess he only makes music for himself, so criticism shouldn't apply to him or even be taken into account.
It seems like he has this disregard for what he can be criticized for, and I just want to spell it out. Hey, dumbass.
Before we move on from the Twitter stuff, there's one more thing I have to show you. In a Reddit AMA, Erik was asked about his Twitter antics and if he regrets them. So the person asks, do you regret the Twitter antics from the other night? I just wanted to give you guys a chance to clear the air on that because I think a lot of the appeal you've generated has come from a fresh sense of ingenuity, which I don't want to get lost from a rough night on social media. Erik responds with, hi, I do and don't regret the Twitter antics. I do because I feel like people can take whatever we say out of context and repurpose it to whatever meaning they desire. I don't because I think a lot of people don't view creatives as fellow people and have an unrealistic expectation for them to float high above them morally and etc. I am a fellow person and it hurts to have people saying things that aren't constructive and simply meant to be flagrant. I'm susceptible to the same reactions you are. We are just under a microscope. This is basically his way of saying, no, I don't regret it. Like I said earlier, Remo Drive acting out on Twitter was a red flag for me, but it wasn't the first red flag I saw from them. The first red flag was when they kicked out their amazing drummer Sam because actually no one knows, not even him. I mean, I do find it interesting that he was kicked out right after they signed to Epitaph, and then the reason for kicking him out was non-existent.
Great moves. Keep it up. Proud of you.
Keep in mind that this is all purely conjecture, but think about it like this. If you split a pie 2 ways between 2 people, each person gets half. Split between 3 people, each person only gets 1/3. Am I saying Remo Drive had this mindset when kicking out Sam? No, not at all. I'm just saying it's possible. And again, to be clear, any band can kick out any member. That's their prerogative. And they also don't have to give that person a reason. However, in the same fashion, fans can also be critical of a band's decision to do what they did. Earlier today, I was checking out Remo Drive's Wikipedia page, and I was elated to see that they had finally added a 3rd member, a new drummer. Their new drummer is also named Sam, funny enough. I realized this happened a bit ago, but I had no idea he was actually an official member in the band. But as I scrolled down the page and got additional information about their members, I was once again let down. The Wikipedia page is set up so it looks like Sam is an official member of the band, but he's not. Sam Becht is an official touring member and an official present in the studio when they're recording member. I'm not here to tell Remo Drive how to run their band, but I am here to tell them that I'm super bummed that they won't hire a drummer as amazing as Sam Becht. And they can always say, oh, it didn't work out with our last drummer and we don't want band drama again and all that kind of stuff, which sounds reasonable, you know? But Erik and Steven are smart guys. They're not dumb. They're smart enough to know that they've basically given Sam the assistant to the regional manager role in the band. I do have to give credit where credit is due though. I thought they remained very humble as Greatest Hits was blowing up, and Greatest Hits is undoubtedly one of the best and most important emo albums of the last decade. I kid you not when I say I'm still not tired of that album. I've been listening to it in anticipation of this video, and the whole time the thought running through my head was, how do this still be sounding so fresh though? I'd like to round off this video by offering Remo Drive some genuine, from the heart, unsolicited advice. Be kinder to your fans who don't enjoy every single thing you make. Not everyone will like all of your music, and that's okay. That doesn't mean they don't love you guys and aren't a real fan. And lastly, make Greatest Hits Part 2. Just do it, man. Give the fans what they want. Secure the freaking bag, get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, then you can have all the time you want to make whatever music you want to make. Because Remo Drive seems to want it both ways. They want all of their fans to like everything they ever make, while simultaneously only doing what they want. Unfortunately, that's just not the way it works. I mean, maybe it has worked for some bands, but it isn't working for Remo Drive, and I hope they realize it soon. But if they don't, then we still got some dang darn good music to listen to. And I'd like to thank Remo Drive for that.
If you're some fucking emo kid, if you're some goddamn emo kid, then make sure you listen to this track.
Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.
Oh, wait, under the night sky!